Hey everybody, my name is Spencer here from Brilliant Setups, and today I wanted to talk about a really cool platform that can save you time when making sales calls, if you're making outbound calls or if you have inbound calls coming in, or even if you're managing a small team and you want to see the progress and see how many calls are made and monitor what's going on with your sales. This platform can really be effective for you. So the platform is called CallHippo, and what it can do is really provide efficiency for your calls with the software and the power dialer that it can provide you. So one really cool feature that we'll go over here is that it can make outbound calls for you while you're doing other daily tasks. So you don't have to manage dialing and leaving voicemails. This system can do all of that for you. So you can focus on what you need to do during the day. And then when people answer, it's going to notify you and put you live with that client. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to kind of show you the system. So here we have the dashboard. So when you first log into CallHippo, this is what you're going to see. So if you have a small team or if you've hired a couple of people to do calls for you, this system can allow you to monitor what's going on. So you can see who's on the call, how many calls are being made, how many calls have been made in the day, how many calls have been received, and you can see if there's any calls in the queue as well. So this is a good software to manage that if you've hired people or if you're doing outbound calls as well. The next thing is that you can actually record calls. So let's say that you had a really good sales call and you have a training system in place for your sales team, or you have a new hire coming on and you want them to listen on certain calls, maybe how to address certain questions people might have, or how you're able to handle a certain escalation or anything that it might be. You can record that call so that you can always have it in your training so that other people can listen. Or if you just made a really cool sale and you want to brag about it, this is another way to do that. So you can have fun with this. You can also send text. So you can not only call and receive calls, but you can text people. So also, if you're doing a campaign that does an outbound calls or something, you can put in there that it can text that number as well, so that you don't have to keep copying and pasting and sending a message through Skype or whatever platform you're using as well. So let's talk about the most important feature I think about this software is the power dialer. So let's say that you just imported a bunch of claim listings, or you have a lot of members that are becoming past due and you want to call these people to follow up with them, or to talk to them about your brand. You can take that same CSV file that you import into Brilliant Directories and you can import it here into CallHippo, and you can activate a campaign so that it will start calling all the numbers for you. So you don't have to dial and dial and dial all day and leave voicemails. What it does is when you activate a campaign, it's going to start calling the numbers one at a time, or for however many agents you have live, it's going to call that many numbers at once. So let's say you have two people making calls for you and they're both online, it's going to dial two numbers out at the same time. So if no one answers the phone and it just keeps ringing, it's going to just hang up the call and move on to the next number in line and dial that number and call them. It also will leave a voicemail. So if you get an answering machine, it's going to leave a pre-recorded voicemail that you gave it, so you don't have to keep repeating yourself all day on what it is you're trying to sell or nurture with your claim listings or past due members to get them to renew. So I think this is an amazing software for those who are working on their sales right now, who want to have other time to do other things throughout the day. So you're not just spending all your time calling and dialing numbers. This can take that headache out of your problems, I guess you can say. So last but not least, one other thing I want to talk about, and for those who have probably watched some of my other videos, you know I love HubSpot. And yes, CallHippo can integrate into your CRM. So you're able to actually track all the activity in your HubSpot as long as the contacts that you're calling are listed in HubSpot. So it's only going to work if that contact is in HubSpot as well. So you can track who's been called. You can actually dial out in HubSpot. So you get this dialer when you subscribe to Call Hippo. They give you a number. So you can select a number in any location that you're calling. So for example, if you're calling in Canada, you can pick a Canadian number in that area that you're targeting. If you're calling in the United States, you can get a US number in the area that you're targeting. And you can also make these calls in HubSpot. The power dialer doesn't work in HubSpot because this is a specific to the platform, but you can track the activity in HubSpot to see who was called, how long the call was. If you want to leave call notes in HubSpot that you've made here on Call Hippo, you can do that as well. So this is a really cool system. I think that for those who are working on their sales right now or making calls or trying to find a solution to make calls for past due members, or like I said, claim listings, or just anyone that you've got numbers for to do a whole marketing campaign. This is a really cool platform, I think, that can really take a lot of headaches out of your daily use. So thank you so much, you guys, for your time today, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.